Okay, so I came out here the other day to make a video of this parking protected bike lane that we're looking at right now. So you've seen some of my posts already about what happened here and where DOMI and Bike Pittsburgh basically decided they wanted this parking protected bike lane, and even went so far as to tell other communities, you know what I'm talking about. Jan Rather from the city of Pittsburgh, he's now with DOMI. When he was at the Shuck community meeting, which is the Squirrel Hill Urban Coalition meeting, he told the community members that showed up that the people of Stanton Avenue got exactly what they were told they were going to get, which is this parking protected bike lane right up through here. Now, I've posted several links, and there will be one down below where this is basically an outright lie. So here are the slides from the city deck that shows the planned installation. This is the 5400 block, and it's pictured with the blue outline. But you can also see the other sections that didn't have this in the plan anywhere along Stanton. And here's the schematic that shows the layout. But feel free to pause and look a little closer or follow the links below. Basically, the people were told that they wouldn't consider a parking protected bike lane. So the people of Stanton Avenue, we hold a meeting this past December 2025 and invited Bike Pittsburgh because they needed proof that I was actually talking to disabled and elderly here on Stanton. So now the city officially knows, whether they simply didn't do any demographic searching and didn't know that there was disabled people, even though they brought it up at the phase 2 meeting, or they just simply wanted to take the fastest route and squash the voices of the disabled and the elderly with lies and misinformation. So any professional who does demographic searching could easily look up and find that this single block alone, where they installed an unproven, unsafe infrastructure for cyclists, for pedestrians, for residents, this block has over 200 residents and contains over 98 households, of which 15% are classified with disabilities and over 12% are age 64 and up. This equates to over 30 people with disabilities and 25 approaching elderly status or in elderly status. Over 200 people in this short distance puts the population density over twice as dense as downtown Pittsburgh, the most densely populated area of Allegheny County. It's also roughly 4 times the density of the overall city of Pittsburgh. However, if you didn't even do that, and you simply walk the street, you would see all of the multi-units that are in this block. And this is why DOMI should not be left to their own whims to install any infrastructure that impacts residents. Just stop funding them. Stop giving them money. These are not just funds that might come from the state or federal. These are funds that come from our tax dollars. Stop funding them. Stop funding them. This is what they do with your money. This is what they do with our taxpayer money. So what does Deb Gross, our council person, Bike Pittsburgh, and Jan Rather decide? It's the citizens that are going to clean it. This, what you're seeing, is a week after the big snow. So what did they do? Deb Gross decides that she will contact the city, and they gave them salt boxes and said, here, do it yourself. And now not only do they have to take care of their own sidewalks, but they also have to take care of this bike lane. Well, I also had a thing that happened during this meeting where Jan Rather told Bike Pittsburgh that he's been in constant communication with the people over here when he called once after I started putting the board members of Bike Pittsburgh on blast. So what I'm doing now is I'm calling for you, the city of Pittsburgh, to come out here and clean what you can't maintain. So if that means you have to come out here and shovel it by hand, then you shovel it by hand. You're the ones that installed it. It's not the citizens' responsibility to make a clear path because you can't maintain it. You didn't even install this with NACTO or ASHTO guidelines. This is the distance between the curb and this bump out, this rubber wheel stop right here. This is what they decided to call a floating curb, which basically allowed them to skirt Title 75 of the PA Vehicle Code. It should be a minimum of 6.5 feet, and it's like 5'3". I brought this up at the December meeting, and Eric Bohr seemed a little shocked when I mentioned it. I guess he doesn't own a tape measure. Okay, and if you're going to have something that comes in here and encroaches even further than that minimum required distance, then you have at least 3 feet for the door. So now it's not even safe for a cyclist. This is why I keep calling these bike trapping lanes. And then Bike Pittsburgh puts out messages telling cyclists that this lane is a bike lane. It's not just a bike lane, it's a parking protected bike lane. And it causes a lot of issues when you have a lot of disabled people. If you have one disabled person, it causes issues. But we have many disabled people. We have many elderly people here. And if they would have bothered to find the time to do a 5-minute demographic search online, they would have found that there's over 200 people in this block alone, many of which, over 30, are disabled. I almost tripped over it. Okay? So here I am again, telling you, Bike Pittsburgh, telling you, DOMI, to get out here and shovel it. Because this is your fault. This is you guys who decided to talk over the residents and put in whatever you wanted to put in. So get out here and shovel it. They've got wheelchairs that they got to deal with. They've got emergency vehicles that they need to deal with. All right, so here it is. The director of DOMI who decided to do this was Kim Lucas, one of the biggest ableists that they had down there. Kim Lucas is now working for CMU as an adjunct teacher. All right, CMU decided to hire somebody who's an ableist. Jeff Scalacan is now the acting director of DOMI, and he knows all about this. Jan Rather, I already mentioned. Deb Gross, when we had the, and here, this is how we have to stop now. Everybody just lines up so that they can drop people off. Because there's literally nowhere, this is awesome. This is what happens. You have over 200 people. This block alone is more densely packed than the downtown of Pittsburgh. Deb Gross and Kari Mosley. The people came, and there was a special council meeting because you got one of the first petitions in the U.S. to remove biking infrastructure. The first person that got up there and talked was disabled. You knew about this, and you haven't done anything for a year. Not only that, but after this went on TV, you also found out about it again. And you decided to let the citizens come out here and clean this. Well, here they are. Here they are cleaning it. They came out and cleaned once. You know, I know that the people that tried to do this, that tried to help out and clean out the bike lane, they have a good heart. But the people that just said that's okay, no. Eric Bohr, the director of advocacy, this is your advocacy, Eric Bohr. Eric Bohr is the one that sat there in a bicycling meeting, a local cycling meeting, and convinced all the cyclists that the people there weren't disabled, that this was just a parking question, that people were just upset about parking. He sat there with Chris Sandvig. And he, Eric Borer, is led by Scott Bricker, ableist to the core. He just sat there in the back of the meeting, the phase 2 meeting, with his arms crossed, looking at all the cyclists that showed up that don't even live here. Don't have to deal with this on a regular basis. So now I'm calling out the board members of Bike Pittsburgh again. Get down here and clean this for these people. Shakaya Bailey, everyone calls Bailey, I guess. Sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, I probably am. Phil Cresswell, Ed Engler, Josh Gillum, Beth Hazlett, Mac Howison, Jennifer Reitzel, Armin Sammy, Alexander Schwall, Bill Simon, Brendan Slaughterback. There's more. Joshua Stein, Anne Marie Tockett. I've heard really good things about Anne Marie. Hate to do this, but hey, you're on the board. You guys know about this, and I know you know about it because you guys have been taking your names off the tags that I put on the last post that I made. So you all know about this, and you're letting it go. Pogo came out to the meeting, to the special council meeting, to speak out against against the disabled and the elderly here. And I caught him on a statewide call, trying to tell people that when I was asked point blank, "Why did you do that?" He said, "Oh, I was voting for a bike lane." I was like, "No, you voted for this. It seems like you have no idea what you voted for." And then ECS, Bike Pittsburgh, had ECS come out with one of the old council people, Patrick Dowd. He's now the CEO from ECS. They rounded up 3 people, Patrick Dowd and 2 others, for that council meeting to speak out against these disabled people. And their board president, Stan O'Loughlin, I'm going to pronounce these wrong, I'm sorry. Yeah, this is your fault. So why don't you come out here and shovel it? Huh? Patrick Dowd, you were a council person. You don't have a phone? You can't pick phone up? Or is this is okay with you? Ed White, why don't you come out here and bust your back so these people can move their wheelchairs around? It's disgusting. It's disgusting.